Hello and welcome to another Board of Education meeting recap, this time for the month of January 2023. My name is Duke Bradley, Chief of Staff, and as always, I'm joined today by our Superintendent, Dr. Mary Elizabeth Davis. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all of you who have been able to join us today. It is the second semester in Henry County Schools, and we are excited to kick it off. And as we talk about our board meeting today, we actually need to set the table for the business that occurred on January 9th with the special called meeting that occurred on January 5th of 2023. It was at that time we got to celebrate the swearing in of board members, Mrs. Annette Edwards and Mrs. Sophie Pope. Following their swearing in ceremony and the celebration, we had the official election of officers. And so let me take this time to congratulate Mrs. Edwards as our board chair and Mrs. Sophie Pope as our board vice chair, which really will provide the leadership for this unified governance team as we head into this calendar year. And that got us started in the business of the Board of Education.
Well, our study session got underway with a discussion about our Fall 22 community conversations. And Mary Elizabeth, as you know, our community really is the centerpiece of everything that we do in our community. This was really an exciting opportunity for us to engage and to reconnect, especially after having not been able to do so for a couple of years. And so we were able to get into all 10 of our high schools, invite members of our community to have a robust, strong, and meaningful conversation about some of the wonderful work that's happening in our district. Let's take a look.
Well, let's get started. Welcome to a community conversation. I really just takes a moment to set the tone for a season that we've entered in Henry County Schools that is focused on every young person knowing that they are highly valued, they are loved, and they belong in a Henry County classroom. They will learn more in a Henry County classroom than they can anywhere else. And that is our commitment and the guarantee that we are working toward each and every day. And I love that so many students are right here in our community conversation because this is about realizing the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of the community in which our schools reside.
And Mary Elizabeth, it was really powerful. I mean, these conversations really resulted in almost over 500 participants. We had over 2,000 individual bits of feedback. We're going to take that information to really inform some of the work that we've got going forward. But here's what we learned. We learned that our parents and families are really excited about the opportunities that we've created for young people to have access to advanced learning opportunities. We've learned that much of the work that we have in our strategic plan around safety and security is really showing up prominently within school communities. But we also recognize that there is more work to do. And so as we are in this season of preparing really for our work for the upcoming school year, we're going to take these bits of feedback to really make our plans show up next year.
Yeah, I think there's a few things, right? Our FY24 budget season will be highly linked to the insights and priorities we heard from community members, as well as how we build our strategic plan techniques moving forward. We learned that families want more communication from their school, and we also learned that there was a desire for more parent engagement opportunities. And so we know there's many ways that we can continue to get better, and this is our commitment to continue to doing so. And that led us to talking a little bit about our strategic plan, where we are on workflow, what we can expect to come next, and why don't we talk a little bit about our strategic plan update.
Well, it's hard to imagine that we have arrived at the second quarter of the second year of our Community Inspired Strategic Plan. We have so much wonderful work happening in our district, and this was really an opportunity for us to update our Board of Education and to also update our community on some of the progress that we've made on some of our priority student outcomes and also many of our strategic actions. Let's take a look. So under Strategic Action 1, this is the board's direct focus on advancing learning opportunities and experiences for all students. Some work, first reported several months ago, has moved to the phase of complete, such as the deployment of customized robotics lessons, which are complementary to the equipment that has made its way into classrooms in recent months. This board's focus on creating a community of strong writers continues with the introduction of a clear and structured writing process for all students and grade levels. Under Strategic Action 2, advance effective leadership in classroom instruction. This action speaks to the practices that we will deploy to ensure that our academic priorities are well executed. Under Strategic Action 3, which is focused on our efforts to advance connectivity to value and engage all students, employees, and families in our growing community, there are a few key work objectives that are in the research and design phase. While meaningful community engagement is a hallmark of this Board of Education, we are creating a complete list of existing school and district partners. This work has been coupled by the effort of identifying school-based liaisons and a working team to support a convening of all partners, which will be held this spring. Now, this board's desire to advance the wellness of our students and our employees is reflected in Strategic Action 4. Highlights of the progress in this area for quarter 2 are primarily centered around the phase of invest and implement. On the theme of elevating the opportunities available for young people beyond the normal school day, after-school programming has truly emerged as a component of our strategy to advance critical aspects of our strategic plan. And finally, Strategic Action 5 is all about this board's expectation that we are creating a high-performing culture, evidenced by efficient operations and the development of systems that enable monitoring and performance accountability. For all of the work that's been accomplished during the second quarter of the second year of this 5-year strategic plan, you'll note a few themes that weave across the 5 strategic actions. Among them include the relentless pursuit of improving the academic performance of our students by increasing access and opportunities for every child, effectiveness in all that we do, and the work of building reliable systems that ensures the quality implementation of every aspect of this plan. Lots of wonderful information contained in this report, and if you are interested, we really encourage you to visit our website so you can view the report in its entirety and also be able to access archived reports as well.
That really led us to getting into planning for 2023-24 school year. If you can believe it, that first day of school in August is just around the corner. And while preparations are well underway, this board report provided by Ms. Sudduth, our Chief School Leadership Officer, was really designed to highlight some of the important information for both families and staff as we prepare. I want to specifically draw your attention to our Impact Academy program, a program available to families K through 12 that grew from 600 students before the pandemic to 5,000 students strong during the pandemic. As we look into next year, we are going to reestablish some constraints to that Impact Academy program so that it can be highly effective for all students. We'll begin by phasing out the K-2 option for families and continue with our 3rd grade through 12th grade environment. 3rd through 5th grade will be a blended model only. 6th through 8th grade will be a blended or virtual option for families, and 9th through 12th grade will be virtual only with optional on-site days referred to as cafe days. As we really look to build an exceptional online opportunity for families here in Henry County, we will invite any new family who would like to join the Impact Learning community to do so by participating in the school choice window, which will open on January 23rd. Impact Academy, along with all other school choice options for families, are made available through a lottery process, and that takes place between January 23rd and February 24th. And feel free to visit our website to find out more information.
Transitioning into our core business of student learning, our Chief of Learning and Performance Officer, Mrs. Tamaria McCrary, gave a really exciting update about new math standards. I know that many parents and families are always thinking about what is this new math that our young people are being exposed to. Well, Mrs. McCrary really gave a really strong update about some of the work that's going to be happening and some of the changes with regard to standards that are going to be underway.
Yeah, so I think it's probably important to refer to the Georgia Department of Education and then the role that that state agency plays in the required standards that are taught in schools across the entire state. Here in Henry County, we will have the responsibility to ingest new math standards that have been articulated by this state agency, but we'll do so through our own Henry Teaching and Learning Standards. So as we embark on our readiness activities for the next school year, one of those activities will be really introducing modifications to the math standards. And while I do think the summary of these changes is referred to as moderate, Most families are excited to hear that there will be fewer responsibilities for learning so many strategies in which one solves a math problem. And it will really return to how to get the answer correct using the strategy that works best for you, instead of families sitting around kitchen tables really working through 5 different ways to get to the right answer. There'll be many other changes that will be explicitly brought to our public's attention at our February board meeting, and the full and comprehensive set of new standards will be available for public review following our February board meeting. So stay tuned as more information develops as we prepare for the 23-24 school year. So the conclusion of a report on math standards actually took us into our operational effectiveness section of our study session. And we began with a construction and East Bluffs report. Let's talk a little bit about some of the progress made on our construction projects.
Well, we've just got so many wonderful projects happening in and throughout our district. Chief Operations Officer Josh Malcolm gave an update on the construction project happening at Dutchtown High School, where we are nearing substantial completion. So we really are expecting over the next several weeks or so that students will be able to transition into that building, and we're really excited about that. We've had an HVAC project for our elementary gymnasiums that has been underway for several months as well, and so we're really looking forward to many of those elementary HVAC projects being substantially completed beginning in the spring and carrying on to July of this year. And so that really represents so much of the really wonderful work that's happening. We've got Birch Creek Elementary is a new school that we're excited that will be opening in the 24-25 school year. We're approaching the groundbreaking for that wonderful event, and it just really signifies that our community really continues to grow and we continue to serve more and more students.
That's right. So our East Bluffs and construction report paved the way for us to have our FY24 budget priorities conversation. As we head into the second semester, a key responsibility of the Board of Education is to adopt a balanced budget before the state required deadline. We are on pace to adopt that final budget by May of this year, and the activities begin with evaluating not only the priorities of our board members, the responsibilities to deliver on our community-inspired strategic plan, but it also was able to incorporate the community conversation inputs that were collected throughout the fall semester. Chief Financial Officer Shanika Clay was able to really introduce how these budget priorities are emerging as themes, and we would encourage you to stay connected to our website, where we provide access to review all of the materials provided to the Board of Education and all of the board reports that are associated with developing the FY24 budget. It really was a great conversation that our Board of Education was able to have, so let's listen to the remarks of our board members.
Finances does not always satisfy, or does not always, it's a Band-Aid, but there are other things that we have to look at when it comes down to the wellness and the healthiness of our staff. So I hope that we can find a way to invest more into the wellness of our staff to make sure that they are okay when they come to school and teach. We don't know what people are facing, but everyone needs that shoulder to lean on and to talk to get throughout the day.
I'm really excited about a lot of these FY24 budget priorities. I'm really grateful that we have this community-inspired strategic plan to guide us, that this is not just a coin toss every year. This is really bringing to fruition the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of our community, and that all requires dollars. So I'm thankful for that plan and thankful for its ability to guide us through this process.
Following our discussion on the FY24 budget priorities, we paved the way for the business of the Board of Education. Discussion around topics on our business agenda, then taken action on in the evening meeting, began with athletic equipment growth and replacement, specifically this time for track and field. This is a part of the board's continued commitment to create an asset management practice for our organization, which is a direct reflection of our community-inspired strategic plan. This investment will position all middle schools and high schools to have a growth and replacement of all of their track and field equipment as we head into this spring season of athletics. The business of the board for athletic equipment growth and replacement, which was unanimously approved, was followed by unanimous approval of an easement for the sidewalks outside of Ola Elementary School that has been requested by the Board of Commissioners. Following discussion in executive session, the board unanimously approved that easement, and that really paved the way for the conclusion of the business of the Board of Education for the January meeting.
Well, for all the business that was handled during this board meeting, we are always excited to have inspiration, and students are the center of everything that we do, and so we would be remiss not to actually lift up the wonderful theater group of Ola Middle School, who gave us a fantastic theatrical presentation. Let's take a look.
Top secret personal beeswax. And if you're nice, I'll let you see. She's got electricity, her top secret personal beeswax. The life and times of Judy B. Top secret personal, top secret personal, top secret personal, top secret personal.
Well, that paved the way to recognize the new leaders that are joining our organization or taking on new leadership responsibilities. So let me begin by congratulating the new principal at Stockbridge High School, Dr. James Thornton. Also on the evening's personnel agenda included the new executive director for student services, Cressida Hawk, and recognizing our new director of teaching and learning, Dr. Shakira Akbar, and the new assistant principal at Stockbridge Middle School, Chevy Glenn. Congratulations to our new leaders who are taking on new responsibilities in our organization, and as always, we look forward to your immediate impact.
Well, Mary Elizabeth, that's going to do it. The conclusion of our very first Board of Education meeting for 2023. We're really looking forward to continuing all of the wonderful work that was mentioned during this broadcast. And as always, we really invite our community to remain engaged. Visit us on social media, also visit our website, and please make sure that you're staying tuned in to these wonderful board recaps. That's going to do it. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. While this was just the board recap, you can view the entire board meeting on our website. Also, before we let you go, we encourage you to follow us on social media. That's all from Henry County Schools today. Remember, we are always in pursuit of exceptional, and we'll see you next month.